Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Ishtiaq Ahmed. Uh, from today onwards, I'm going to make videos both in Hindustani, which is spoken Urdu and Hindi, but also in English because I've realized that many people do not follow Hindustani. And therefore, it's not fair that my ideas remain confined to only one group of languages. And so I will, in most cases, make videos also in English. Uh, the theme or topic for today is the new Indian government formed by Narendra Modi in alliance with his uh, coalition partners, Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu. These are the principal allies that he has found. Uh, so one has to congratulate India and the Indian people for making possible a fair and free election which has delivered a result which is reflective of what they want rather than what the BJP's propaganda machinery was, uh, disseminating, claiming that they'll get alone 400 and more seats. They fell short of the simple majority of 272, getting only 240 seats. But they remain, the BJP remains the party with the biggest number of seats in the Indian parliament and therefore was entitled to try to form the government, which it has succeeded in doing. So, congratulations to the new Indian government as well. For me, the election result of 2024 is testimony to the resilience of Indian secular democracy. Indian democracy, liberal, secular, inclusive, even I would say, uh, taking a position in behalf of the historically oppressed sections of Indian society, like the Dalits and the Aboriginal people. So, these have been the great achievements of the Indian Constitution, which has been institutionalized in the 17 years when India was led by Jawaharlal Nehru as Prime Minister. And so the good deeds of the freedom movement and the founders of modern India, including Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, who was made the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution, notwithstanding the fact that all his life, for right or wrong, he opposed the Congress uh, party, but it's the Congress party which wisely decided to give him this assignment. And his contribution in the formation of the Indian Constitution is universally recognized. Although it must be said that many others contributed. So it's a document which has been institutionalized through proper processes which are democratic, which are tolerant of majority, and which encourage open debate. In the last 5 years under Narendra Modi, the trend was towards some sort of majoritarian Hindu Indian government, a Hindu Rashtra sort of idea. And many of us who are well wishers of India, who admire the Indian freedom movement and have written extensively about it. My books are read not only in Pakistan but very, very widely in India as well. So I have a very large uh, support base in India. And I love the Indian people who have always been kind, generous, and offering me the best hospitality. And that only confirms my belief that the people are good when given a chance. It's only power politics which creates stereotyping possibilities, which lays the grounds for discrimination, persecution, stereotyping of certain type of people. But in this election, I think a resounding example was given by the Indian people that this will not do. And although no denying that the BJP did form the government, and I wish the government all the very best, but the Indian people also cautioned the government with its excessive sort of policies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Rajasthan saying things like that, uh, according to the Congress manifesto, and it was a gross misinterpretation of the Congress manifesto. I've gone through it. That if the Congress party were to come to power, Hindu women would lose their sacred thread called the Mangal Sutra, uh, which means that their marriage would be annulled, which is absurd. And the gold which the women have as their main source of property would be taken away and given to Muslims who have a tendency of producing more children than others. I think this was not what a statesman would issue. Things like this were said by Jinnah of Pakistan, and it created the bad blood between Hindus and Muslims. It created the horrors of the 1947 partition communal riots, and it left India partitioned, bleeding uh, in a way it had never uh, experienced such havoc in the past. And we got a Pakistan based on a narrow minded religious ideology. And what great harm it has done to Pakistan is all before us. So, my concern as a cosmopolitan person who believes in a united but wounded humanity was that India should not go that way. And I hope that the new government has the wisdom to learn from the way the people have voted. And Mr. Modi is able to uh, step back from this tendency that sort of is indicative of megalomania. Megalomania very often surrounds political leaders who have great ability, who have great charisma, who have great rhetorical skills, but they are surrounded by sycophants who feed them fantastic stories about their greatness, about their invincibility. And that temptation, not many can avoid. This cannot be said about Jawaharlal Nehru, which is a sharp contrast. In his case, he actually wrote anonymous letters to an Indian newspaper against himself, saying that the prime minister is acting in an autocratic manner and this should not be allowed. And robust opposition to his policies should be presented in the Indian Parliament. I think that was a fantastic contribution of Jawaharlal Nehru. And 77 years later, India is reaping the full harvest of that sort of, I think, far sighted, very wise way of understanding the role of leadership. So, having said that, I would like to say that, notwithstanding the fact that when I made such a statement some time ago, I was attacked in a most vicious manner by BJP trolls, and I was even accused of Hindu phobia, which is absurd because I've made so many videos against speaking against Hinduism and Hindus and against India. So all that is on record. But from now onwards, I'm also going to make videos in English so that my views are understood and discussed as widely as possible. Of course, I'm not going to allow uh, the comment session to be reopened because of all the foul mouthing which takes place by these trolls against me. Have no reason to entertain them. They can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. But as long as I'm there, I'm going to defend democracy. I'm going to defend all policies which are for progressive social change, which do not target minorities, which rather try their best to include minorities into the mainstream. And I would say that I'm in favor of something which the BJP took up, and that is a uniform civil code. If the uniform civil code is introduced, and with all sincerity and not aiming to hurt just minorities, it will be good for all Indians. It will be especially good for Muslim women who are uh, facing the stranglehold of mullahs, of uh, Muslim clerics whose mindset has not proceeded beyond the 7th, 10th, 11th century. They live in a past which has no relevance in the present. This is the century of equality of everyone, of policies aiming to alleviate the suffering of the weak so that everybody is given a chance to live a life of dignity and security. So, having said this, uh, this is a new beginning now. I have a video which is more or less on the same lines as this one, but I will also be doing it in the English language so that those who don't follow Hindustani, which I think is a combination of both Urdu and Hindi when spoken, and which is the language I use whenever I go to India and in Pakistan as well. People speak Hindustani. It's the link language, it's the language of most people. And yet, in the southern parts of India and in many parts of Pakistan, uh, Hindustani or Urdu is not their mother tongue. So, we have to do things in English as well, which is undoubtedly uh, the lingua franca of the whole world now. And I think it's therefore necessary that my views are also set forth in English. Thank you very much, all of you, for uh, supporting me all these years. And do subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Thank you very much.